Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alden from Harmonious Twin Flame Union.com, and perhaps you hear my cat meowing in the background. I am here with you this evening of February 12th, 2018. This is Luna, my cat, here, and she's pretty excited about the fact that Venus has gone into Pisces like me. So I wanted to talk about that because I noticed for myself, I mean, given, be hormonal too, but, whatever, it's all one and the same thing. Like your emotions are just your emotions. You don't need to make excuses for them existing or not existing or whatever it may be. So, your feelings are not separate from, the chemical workings in your body, but there's not one piece of it that's science and one piece of it that is your feelings. It's all one God, and you're co-creating to, really align with God's will for you. I randomly opened my ACIM, A Course in Miracles book last night, really not sure what I was going to get, but really excited for whatever it was going to be, and it was a lesson, might have been 48, but I'm not 100% sure, I don't have it in front of me, but it was about God's will for us, and how when you go to the deep corners of your mind and you begin to feel happiness there, where God's will for you does exist, even in these places where we haven't allowed it before, it becomes very healing, and so that really stayed with me all day. Of course, like, you may already know that's true, but another piece of it was that, replacing your own strength with the strength of God, like not finding strength in yourself, surrendering that and finding strength in your relationship to God and allowing that to create your reality, to get you even where your feelings live. There's a lot of strength in your feelings and emotions, and I don't think that's how we always view feelings and emotions. I think we often think of them as a weakness because something has to either be a strength or a weakness, but the truth is, if it's real and it exists, then it just is, and there's only strength, there's only joy, and so a weakness is just an illusion or something you don't need. So anyway, my cat is clawing my arm. It's a little bit annoying, not gonna lie. So anyway, so Venus was in Aquarius. That's where my personal Venus is. And, Venus in Aquarius is very, like, more about, universal love and, just, enjoying the uniqueness, but almost from an aloof perspective sometimes, like, like an intellectual component to how we view love. So that's where Venus was up until Saturday, and that's great. I mean, it's great to tap into universal consciousness on that level and see things, from that more airy perspective, like almost like like you're looking out the top of a mountain in that kind of a viewpoint. of love and enjoying the really, the possibilities of the unique qualities within you and within your union. But now, like, we've entered Venus in Pisces, and Pisces, makes me think of, like, Kurt Cobain and and just like that, deep emotional water that if you get too caught up in, you just can't get out of. And I had that experience. Lena, please don't ruin my shirt. All right. I had that experience, really right when that was happening or the day before, where I just, like, kind of almost gave in to feeling really crappy or depressed because, there's just, there's a lot of personal reasons why I could feel that way, and I did, and that was fine. It's fine to really feel into whatever it is you're feeling, but I realized that I had a choice to make, and that, I've been in a pattern, similar enough to that before, and that I could choose to allow this feeling to pass over me, to pass through me, to feel it and to acknowledge it and accept it and be grateful for the healing teacher that this feeling is, but to also release it and surrender it. And so that's the choice that I made. And it was not instantaneous where, I was like all of a sudden jumping for joy after being curled in a ball on the couch, but it was like, I gave myself permission to really go back to that deep inner child, the child that that never got the love that she needed, the support in just feeling good, even when she like didn't feel good, allowing the allowance to just to be emotional. And so I gave myself that love, and I realized that that I didn't have to own some kind of shitty feeling. I did not need to revel in it. And I think that we're kind of taught to do that there's something like rewarding, about, I don't know, binge eating cookies and watching movies and numbing out to how we feel, like finding a fun activity that is actually really, really bland and doesn't help us at all. And it's not about the activity or the lack of activity. I mean, you could easily watch movies and eat cookies and, do it with God too and have a really splendid time. But it's really all about your intention, and also where you're acting both inwardly and outwardly in the world with your feelings. Like, are you choosing a movie and this cookie thing because you did it before a long time ago when you were in junior high, and it worked for you then, okay, and so you're gonna stay at that level of getting depressed and dealing with depression that you did in junior high and do the same thing and not move beyond that? Or is it that, there's something really in your heart that that you desire to really sit and lounge around and just allow yourself to be comforted in that, be comforted in God's love and providing that for you? So those could be two very different experiences that seem very similar on the outside, but there's a big difference when you're choosing to use your emotions to take you to the highest place in your heart that you see to go, and even beyond that. Like the card from Rumi, I was showing it to my students. I'm having them write some poetry with their abstract art, and there was an oracle card that I picked for them, and the last couple lines of the Rumi poem were something like, reach for eminence beyond your own maturity. And I think that actually really sums up this, Venus and Pisces energy very well, in that, in the card is a rise, and I didn't, pull it for us just now, but it really just comes to my mind because when we're taken into the depths and we allow ourselves to like really sink into them and expand in, that deep blue oceanic place where anything can really be, that's the place where people tell stories about mermaids and sea monsters and hidden treasures, falling to the bottom of the ocean and all kinds of stuff like that. So there's this longing sense sometimes when we get into these emotional waters for, treasures lost. But when that's the feeling that we get, which could be like depression or something, we have to really see the spiritual truth behind that there is no sunken treasure ship unless that's your belief and you want to put your energy into that illusion. But everything, all the treasures are right where you are. So it's really just a matter of loving yourself into your own treasures, into God's treasures, and into the treasures that you share with your brothers and sisters, and that you are one with your twin flame, with your divine twin flame. And so there's nothing to treasure and to try to protect or to grasp or to be depressed about, because it's already there for you, and it's just it's ready to be activated when you're ready. And so God is very patient and very kind, and so there's really no problem when your cat is clawing your arm. Nope, nothing, no problem at all. Right, Luna? All right. Anyway, I think it's time to go ahead and draw a Rumi card, since I've been talking about that for the last 13 minutes and 36 seconds. Ooh, 1, 3, 3, 6. I like those numbers. Yeah, also, I mean, a great time to maybe put a little bit more depth into the way that you are, I guess, interpreting signs. I mean, I find it super duper fun to talk to the divine, to talk to God in that kind of a way, and to receive signs. And but I don't like it if I try to wrap my mind around it. That's a great pattern to dissolve, because when you're just open, you could think of it as just like being open to the expansiveness of the heavens or whatever. But when you're really open to receiving, then actually you may receive a much more detailed or just a really perfect love message for you right then and there. Whoa, my computer. Like, you don't need to ever be pretentious about signs. they will reveal themselves to you. Of course, there's something to be said for seeking truth, but you always can surrender your seeking when you begin to lose your sight, when you begin to lose your heart's sight, and attempt to use your mind to understand things that you don't need to do that with, right, Lana? Well, Lana's very fascinated. Yeah, so here we go. Whoa. Okay, kitty, you're kind of really affecting this video in a very interesting way. All right. So this card, Sacred Soul Sister, very pretty card, very fluffy looking to me, like fluffy pink. Kind of reminds me of strawberry shortcake, which sounds really delicious right now. And I just ate a really delicious dinner, but I'm still hungry. Yeah, so number 37, Sacred Soul Sister. Well, there's a couple soul sisters getting real. Like, they kind of look like they're boogieing down, like in the celestial realms, like that are all, it's also the caves though. And the first thing that comes to my mind is the heat dissolving the water, because all of this watery romantic energy as we go towards Valentine's Day, and then also we have an eclipse, partial solar eclipse the day after, which I will do another video about very soon. But in any case, like, these women are really doing it. They're rising above their emotional waters, and they're having a blast because of it. But they didn't get there by swimming out too quickly or by being afraid. They just got there naturally by living in their element, and that's my story for these two women. That's my channeled story. So let's see what the card has to say, because I think that'll be really nice too. And it's number 37. Oh, not page 37, number 37. Okay, Sacred Soul Sister, when you are conscious, a cloud of sadness surrounds you. When you are beyond consciousness, the moon rests in your arms. When you are conscious, the beloved moves out of your reach. When you are beyond consciousness, the ecstasy of love moves your way. When you are conscious, you are depressed like fall. When you are beyond consciousness, the winter cold feels like spring. All your wavering is due to your longing to be stable. Look for instability until you become stable. And then the kind of italicized, shorter message after the Rumi poem says, I love you, I am your other self. I am with you always, your partner on this soul journey. I am the you that you do not see. I am the you that speaks through intuition and instinct. I whisper and sing and shout my crazed truth-telling to you through your dreams, through your body. I am the you that is wise, that trusts in life, that knows. I am the you that sees reality rather than appearance. I am the you that knows how to be happy and free. I really like the part where it says, I am the you that sees reality rather than appearance, because that reality reminds me of the lesson, the exercise in A Course of Miracles about, um, aligning to God's will to be happy. That His happiness for you is abundant and infinite, and that is the reality. And so when you go beyond consciousness, you you let that in. You naturally just ascend, to put it shortly. Um, and so you have to trust to get there, though, and you don't need to shake off your emotions or run from them, because that's exactly what you are healing. So when you're given the opportunity to do this spiritual work, um, I invite you to take it, and to take the seeming challenge, and to know that the challenge is not a challenge at all when you are ready to see beyond it, with all the love that God has for you, and that these deep waters naturally kind of dissipate into where you are now, and the waters are just really there, to serve your higher self, to serve you in really aligning with your divine self. And oh, my cat is so calm now. I guess she knows, that like peaceful feeling. That's the feeling I have after reading that card. Yeah. So if you feel if you feel trapped, or in some kind of a pickle, um, find the humor in it too. Remember the flip side sometimes of the deep waters of depression can be like the sparkle of humor, and so really using that as a kind of therapeutic way to really love yourself very deeply can be also very healing right now. And you don't have to like go shove something funny down your throat, but if you feel called to, um, just to find a way to also enjoy the lighter side, and to know that it's okay to feel really intense feelings, and to still feel totally held by God, and to actually begin to, if you haven't already, to enjoy um, any feeling that arises, not in the feeling itself necessarily, but in the you that is always within any genuine feeling. And so the divinity in that is just the love that's there. And so it's really all about these emotions flooding your heart again with more and more love, and washing away those places that don't exist where you've put unnecessary energy, so that you can, ascend and allow yourself to balance out. So great time to maybe pay a little bit extra attention to those chakras, and see if any of them might need a little bit extra attention. Like, I'm just noticing, talking about this, and my throat chakra definitely feels a little bit like something's coming up, like a little bit of a heaviness rising. And that's interesting because, the color of the throat chakra is blue, like oftentimes said to be like a sky blue color. but sometimes the ocean and the sky look the same color. And I think that that's a really good message, that when you heal your emotional needs or wounds, or whatever kind of emotion is really flooding you, then you may notice that something arises in you to say, whether it's out loud to your twin flame, or really just a feeling of clearing out more space to be authentic, and to talk from that authentic place. I showed my kids, my students, a video without pre-screening it. It was just like TED Talks, that teenagers had voted as their favorite TED Talks, and one of them was about a guy. Well, it wasn't about a guy. The guy was talking about how to make yourself really interesting when you speak. And he actually went into voice exercises, which I thought was really cool, because when I took voice lessons, it made me think of that. And he was also saying that people listen more when you talk from deeper in your chest. We have a tendency to talk, really nasally sometimes, or I'm trying to kind of do do it, or think about doing it, but I don't really want to. Or talk from this part of ourselves, rather than really talking really heartily, and how that kind of hearty talk really draws people in, and all the tones and the nuances in your voice. And so how cool, that you have this built-in instrument that is so divine. And so what an added benefit to really get in touch with your emotions, so that you can play all of the strings of your emotions, and express them vocally, through words and perhaps song or whatever else, in a really succinct, really divine and perfect manner for other of God's children to hear and enjoy. So I think that's pretty nifty. It's pretty awesome. I would like Luna to say goodbye to you, since she definitely also played a part in this. So I don't know if she really wants to, but no, not really. Alright. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Luna's off my lap now, so she looks pretty emotionally stable to me, and not overly affected by Venus gone Pisces. And remember, Pisces is like the two fish, so that's has to do with why it has to do with the ocean as well, in case that interests you. And that's what that little symbol for Pisces represents. And so anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll also mention that I do astrology readings for you, for your twin flame, and I also do ongoing astrology coaching sessions for transits that are going on, and just continuing to clear blocks, because there's always more to see in your natal chart, especially in relationship, with current transits going on, and just all that planetary jazz. So take care, love you all, and have a great week ahead. Bye.